Well, some news. I sold Lego tentatively. I'm just gonna plug this in just in case battery dies. There we go. So I put it up on the marketplaces last night, and somebody just texted me, hey, would you take this amount for it? And I said, sure. So instead of $4 a pound, it's going to be $3 a pound. I don't care. People will say, oh, Lego's going for 6 to 10 and 15 for cool pieces. This is 100% basic brick, 1x1 through 2x10, and all the original colors. And some of them are, been in the collection for a long time. So $3 a pound, 40 pounds. It's good enough for me. She says she's going to stop by tomorrow night. If she doesn't, oh well. If she does, yay! So 40 pounds of Legos leaving the house. That actually felt good. It'll feel better when it leaves. So in the continuing saga of what's under my desk that I'm cleaning up, because I'm cleaning up and I'm moving that way, but I'm starting at my desk first, and I did a pretty good job on the shelves, but you can't tell already. But I did a lot of cleanup. I put a lot of stuff into baggies, which means I have to go back to the dollar store and get more Ziplocs. So I found this one. This is Josh's Bionicle / big people moving things. There was a few minifigs in here. Some of these minifigs were found at Value Village and other lakes, but some of them we got new. Just whatever. And he gets them out every once in a while, and he basically beats the crap out of them. So I have more than a few broken Bionicle pieces, which I keep on telling him, take it easy. But he hasn't played with them in such a long time. I may take all these apart and roll them into my bin of, I got a few bins of Bionicle over there that I do not know what to do with yet, but they're sitting there. So that's going to come apart pretty easy and be sorted into the collection. But I kept them together so far for Josh. This was the next heavy bin, and it's quite heavy. And in this one, there's some really ancient artifacts. Not necessarily this guy. I got these parts and pieces off of a friend at one of our shows. This is left over from the robot that I built that would move the space shuttle from the classic space around to the 3 stations. Here's the arm that moved it. I should actually probably just take this apart and roll it into the collection, because that is not going to, you can go back and watch some YouTubes from about a year or 2 ago where I had this thing all working, but it's not that I'm not interested, it's just that it's not going to fit in the layout. So c'est la vie. This is something that Josh built, again in the Chima or Bionicle or whatever. It's got some wires wrapped around it. Kept it together. I'm sure there's missing parts now. Yeah. So it hasn't left the bin since it's been built. It either goes in a Ziploc or it gets taken apart and rolled into the collection. Not quite sure what we're going to do with that yet. This is a really old robot that I built to put my GoPro on and just let it run, and it would inch across the floor, taking kind of a panoramic as it went along. I made a few videos doing that, but it just whatever. Take it apart. This thing is, of course, all the other pieces off it, my one and so far only EV3 platform that I bought off my friend Jeannie. And I think this is part of it. I took the EV3 out to put in storage somewhere, but this is the gizmo that it came with. I have an EV3 bin over there. I'm probably gonna take this apart and throw in the EV3 bin. Just like I got an NXT bin over there. This was me showing Josh how to make a lift. A scissor lift for his garage. This is part of that thing, part of the other thing, this, that, and the other thing, this, that, and the other thing. This is part of the mechanism to pick up and move the things. So we get down to the bottom here. There's another part of it here, and another part with a rotation sensor on it. A power supply, not the Lego power supply, but a 12-volt power supply that supplies electricity to the lights inside the habitat. I bought a whole, like 5 or 6 of those light kits. I only need one power supply, so I got these remaining power supplies. These are old wires. They're starting to go gray. They haven't started fraying yet. This is what I was talking about the other day when I mentioned that I want to do a smash up derby and build a car around that and have it hit a wall or something, and to have specific parts and panels that would fall off easily. It was an idea. I had started something, just never got around to finishing it. It's just one of those things that I thought about. A lot of parts and pieces in here that can be sorted into the collection immediately. And then here's that Ninjago guy for that big dragon thing. Boom. And then lots and lots of instruction books that are going to go to my buddy Jeff, because they sit here and they don't do anything for me. A couple of rip pages on there. And Josh has been building these speed racers. Sometimes we get a city set that goes in here. Ninjago. Some of these. Josh loved this set, by the way. The bonsai tree. We actually built that on vacation somewhere. I'm trying to remember. But we went to the Lego store. He bought it. So there's a whole bunch of new sets, instructions here that I've been saving up to take to Jeff. Here's an important one, still in the package, because of course I bought a few. Here's another one, still in the package, bought a few. But as we get down into the bowels of this thing, you can already see it. La, la, la. Yeah, the angels are singing, and these are in pretty good condition. So it's not like the other ones I just got. I may keep this one. I don't know. I can probably find the instructions online. Some Minecrafts. Here's a really old one that is not as good as those other ones that we were just talking about, because the pages are all coming apart. But the Mobile Lab, and this guy is not complete. I don't know what the rest of it is. So I got some of those when I bought a used lot a couple years back. This was a fun build. It's up there. I liked it. Josh built this guy. He's over there somewhere. He's still together. What else? What else is semi-interesting here? I'm gonna look at the old guys. Not even close to happiness there. I think I showed you guys this idea book, which is or a brochure a few years after what I just showed you the other day. Let's see, there's a date in this one. This would be 1983. So this is 2 years from the 1981 one, which we just did. And I'll show you something. Fabuland, Duplo, Fabuland again. But this is where town or basic sets. Some of them are the same, 722, 744, 733, and the motorized box. So the same as this 1981. But over here, this was yet another wonderful diorama. But now you will see yellow minifigs, which were not in the 1981 version, because the 1981 didn't have yellow minifigs. Yellow minifig. This is one I got. Oh yeah, so this is the page where I can show you all four. I got that one, and that one for Christmas. All four of them for Christmas. The 3-digit sets are nowhere to be seen on here at all, but they have the base plates, the crater plates, which are 308 and 306, or 305 and 306. So that's the only 3-digit set on this page. Although you still see a 918 in the background. So, but there's no 918s down here at any of these spots. So they went 4 digits all the way. And that was a 4-digit set. The Alpha 1 rocket base is a 3-digit set, but the Beta 1 command center is a 4-digit. That's a 3-digit set. That's 444. So out of this, and the Starfleet Voyager 4. So out of all this entire picture, there's 1, 2. What's that one way in the background? Nope, it's just 2 3-digit sets on this page, on that picture. Town was ramping up again. Basically, no vehicles on this page were non-minifig compliant. Like, minifigs could drive in these vehicles now. 1983, they stopped with putting the minifig on top. on the super little things. So all the doors are opening. There's a place for them to sit. There's a steering wheel. Helicopters are easy. Little go-karts, the fire engines. The service shop, the tow truck service, is still here. Still a cool set. But the big fire station, that was a really cool set. I didn't get that set, but I'm sure I could build it. I did get this police set. Not new, but I got it in a bunch of used lots. But the yellow castle's still here in 1983. The yellow castle's still here. Always kind of cool. It's also still a 3-digit set instead of the 4-digit sets, like basically everything else on this page. The yellow castle's a 3-digit set. And then the minifig packs, which were really cool to have. I didn't buy any at the time. And then the trains were also ramping up, the 7720, the 7710 push train versus battery operated train, gray rails and dark gray things. And there's the 8844 right there. And no more 3-digit sets, no more go-kart 854, no more 853. I'm not sure if the 8860, I think that's the next one. I can't remember. But there's no supercar here. Yeah, so they're all 4-digit sets. And then, of course, the parts pack again that you could buy, which I never did. And then the case, which you could buy. And I actually had a whole bunch of these come to my house, and I keep on selling them because I'm not remotely interested in having any. And the Lego Club, join the thousands of people that joined the Lego Club, which I did prior to this. Fantastic. Anyway, this was a good year of sets. The 3-digit sets were going out. 4-digit sets were becoming the norm, and all the vehicles and buildings were becoming minifig compliant. I don't think there's a single thing in minifigs. Let's look at town first. I looked at town, right? We looked at town. Space is all minifig compliant. Town is all minifig compliant. Castle was only the yellow castle, so castle really hasn't shown up yet. Yeah, so that was a good one. And what else do we have in here? Just more newer sets. Oh, here we go. I get used lots. So I wanted to rebuild this. That came in a lot. And of course, all these older ones came in lots that I got in the last couple of years. But I said, I remember the set in the shelf. It wasn't interesting to me. There is a set, and I don't think this is it, that used the flex cable as a control mechanism in the helicopter or something. And then I got a whole bunch of these because you couldn't believe for about a year and a half at Valley Village, they'd always have 3 or 4 or 10 of these kind of games for sale for like $4.99, because they didn't come with a lot of pieces, but they came in a box and I got a lot of base plates and I got a lot of those. Josh put them all together. I'm gonna move this out of the way so I don't break it. Josh spent some time, and again, this is not the biggest collection I've ever seen of these guys, and I know I'm missing some because I used to have some classic space guys, so I'm sure they're lost somewhere in the collection. And none of these guys, I don't believe, are classic space guys. But look at all the little dudes, the micro dudes, and even the micro dudes at the front, and one of the scrolls. Well, that's that's Groot. There's no scroll on this one. So I got lots of these games over the years. 812, what's 812? Oh, how they use the gears, the big huge gears from back in the day. Interesting stuff. Not necessary. There's another page for it. And so this is going even way back, because I got this set in a used lot, 356. The instructions are a little ripped, but still all there. And then the 1973 brochure. This is a eye full of itself. No Fabuland, but Duplo, like, it looks like different Duplo. It's the same Duplo. This is in a foreign language too. I'm not exactly sure what language this is in. But when I say 2, 4, 6, and 8, 2, 4, 6, and 8, I have a picture of my sister getting that set when she was just a little kid. And that's what we got. I remember getting 2. I don't remember getting 3, 5, 7. I don't remember those sets at all. But I remember getting the even numbered sets. It was really good. And here's for me, And I don't think about it too often, but every once in a while, and if you're here for it, I told you the story about the big melt. We had a forest of these granular trees prior to 1970, I'm going to say 1978. No, it's before 77, because I got the go-kart and that didn't go. So prior to 1977, we had 24 of these trees, of these granular trees. And we lost them all in the big melt. Had cypress trees too, had like 3 or 4 cypress trees, all gone in the big melt. And since they weren't producing those trees after 1977, and all the new sets that we got, never got another one. I do not have right now, I do not have a granular tree in this entire room. Now, going off on this tangent, I'll show you what I do have, if I can find it easy. If I can find it easy, I say that to myself. There, I do. What I do find very, very odd is I have 0 granular trees, but I have so many of these things. So many. Doesn't say anything on the bottom, doesn't say anything on the bottom. But these are Lego trees from the 60s. And I have the ones with the flat bottoms, and I have the ones with the bottoms that connect. I think this was a pure Samsonite thing. Come on, I think this is a Ziploc. And have the ridges on the bottom to connect the base plates and anything with studs on it. So I got tons of these, like 2 baggies full of those guys. Which I find odd that in my collecting after 1977, I never got any more granular trees, ever. Video, the only one I ever bought. I did buy it. Jeff convinced me to buy it. Well, Jeff did not convince me to buy it. He didn't even tell me about it, but he was making such a nice thing about it, so I thought I'd buy one. Architecture, which Josh always builds. Just fantastic. And another one of those that's in mint condition. So I got 2 lots with this thing in it, and this one's mint, and the other one isn't. Minifigs, another speed racer. What's this? Oh, fantastic, by the way. So this is from the Brick Shack. So these are the instructions from the Brick Shack that we got when we bought the Brick Shack tank that Josh put together. This was a make and take Spider-Man. We got 2 of those. This is a Lego calendar or a brochure that we used to get in the mail when I bought stuff and they would send it to us. I can't remember exactly what year this one was. Doesn't matter. That should just be put in the recycle bin. What's this? This is absolutely nothing. That should be in here. There's nothing like it. Oh, the puppies. They're right over there. Another Spider-Man make and take. The minifig collectibles. Blah, blah, more Speed Champions. More Speed Champions. And yeah, more Speed Champions. We got lots of Speed Champions in this house. And that's it. So the directions are the instructions are going to Jeff, and I got a bunch more over there that I have to go through. And again, I do not keep instructions. I really don't. I don't care. So, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put the bigger ones at the bottom this time, so they're not like bent and stuff. So I'm going to put these guys at the bottom, so they're not warped because they're mint in the thing. So I'm trying to be slightly, you know. And these guys, 926, a 924, 6985, and I mentioned my love for the Cosmic Fleet Voyager, and the 6980, which again we just built the other day. So when I say we, it is that royal we. So I'm just gonna start piling things back in here now because the rest of the instructions I don't care about really too much. I don't think there's. Oh, I should keep that one. I do have a control center. This is online. Read it online. So yeah, this is what I do to clean my room. And the next time I see Jeff, at some point, he will get all these instructions and whatever else is in here, and he can do with them as he pleases. He can use them for fire starter, or he can sell them. It matters not to me because they're out of my house. That's all, and that for me, that's all they have to be, is out of my house. I'm not an AFOLB. I am not or AFOLI, like adult fan of Lego instructions. I am not. I honestly don't care. It is one of those things that just takes up space for me. You know, there's a slight twinge of nostalgia for this thing, but it's online and I don't have to take up space here. And, you know, I could probably build that with my eyes closed. I don't think he cares about the collectible minifig ones, but I'm gonna throw them there. Shh, don't tell Jeff. I'm throwing collectible minifigs in there. The one I am gonna keep is Jamie's, because that's not Lego instructions, but video can go. Jeff will like that. And what do we have underneath here? Done. Okay, so, and I'm also going to tear apart my shelf over here because I see lots of paperwork over there that we did enjoy building this one, by the way. We bought that when we went for one of our Lego dinners at the Sherwood Gardens there. That was a nice one. Lego does release great sets. Not for me, but they do release great sets. So I'm going to get all that stuff together for Jeff, and then all these pieces are going to be sorted into the collection. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet, but all this wiring is going to be sorted out, and that's an empty bin now because the instructions are going to go to Jeff, not in the bin. And the rest of the stuff is going to be sorted. I mean, I built this thing 17 times in my life. Again, I don't need instructions to build this thing. What's really interesting is you got the one gear that makes it go around like that, and you got the other gear here that makes it go. What's this one do? I forgot now. I think this one's up and down. Yeah, it's up and down. Right? And then what's the third? I'm missing the third gear. It's missing. It fell right out. But there's a third gear right in the middle that will. Actually, no. This is just a two-way thing, isn't it? Remember correctly now. It's been a while since I built the thing. Yeah. So right now, it comes down. There's only 2 gears needed because when it's down at the bottom, it opens up the claw. Look at that. So this is exactly the same kind of premise I used in one of my robot competitions for block stacking, because I used one motor to not only pick up the block but push it into the channel, which made the stack of blocks. So one motor depends on where it is, and then if you go start closing it, the claw starts closing, and then when it's closed to the point where it can't, that's what this piece is for, it stops there, and then it starts going up. Because you're pulling from here, not from here. See, this is where the, if you look here closely, here's some, this is how they built. You can see the 24 tooth gear in here with the axle through it here. And it's got the lift arm, the small lift arm going up here. And this is the pivot point here. So when that is going up, when it's going backwards, it pulls the arm up. When it's going forwards, it pushes the arm down until the arm can't go down any farther. This arm can't go down any farther, but this arm can still move. So this arm goes that way now, which causes that to be pushed that way. And there's a pivot point, which causes that to push that way. And then the stupid thing is that I got this little piece here to go from this top to this bottom. So as this arm's going out, that one's also going out. So there you go. How to do all this with one single solitary gear and no motor. So it's coming in because it's the lightest, and it stops, and then all of a sudden it'll start going up. It picks up the, I don't think I have one here. Shocking. And then it will stop back here because it can't go up any higher. But there's a friction clutch gear here, so you can't break the motor. As it goes, ring, 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 ring. Remember those motors? Ring, 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 ring. So you can still rotate it here, but it's not going to cause that. And then the other motor just, spins it around and puts it to where it has to go. So that's the entire premise of this. 2 motors, one for spinning and one for grabbing and lifting up and down. Then the other motor was for moving this gantry back and forth. And on the gantry were these things, which have all fallen apart now, which is where it would store the actual shuttles and they move around. I'm trying to remember what this was for this guy, I think. So what was this guy for? Can't remember. Oh, probably for the motor itself. Yeah, so this stuff can be rolled back into the collection. I'll take that apart later. This can be rolled back into the collection. I'll take that apart later. This is the sad / interesting part about Lego. These wires are original Lego wire, but they're glossy. These ones will never ever zombify, as I like to call it. Yet these things came out after. I think these things only came in the command centers, not the RCXs. The RCXs had the rubberized ones. These are plastic, whatever. And these things, I have a bunch of them, but they're only all 1 meters. So I mean, I made short ones and long ones and whatever. So these ones here, let me just have a quick boo. These ones here looks like ones. Yeah, these are the ones that I refinished. So this is ones I made. So you can't go wrong with that. And every once in a while you can and will come across an original command center, rotation sensor that has this long pigtail and it has that glossy wire. And so this will never zombify. So this is an original. But I think, oh, this is the other one too. I had 2 of them. Look at that. Look at me go. Because all those used lots that I gathered around, and they usually have the blue thing on it, this little blue end instead of black. So those will never get wrecked unless you purposely wreck them. They will never look like this, and because this thing is just on the verge of completely disintegrating, because it went from black to dark gray to light gray to almost white, and then you can even see in some places where it's actually, let me get back in view, where it's actually, you're going to start seeing exposed wires soon. But this is what I've been doing, is make my own wires black. So it is one of those things. Again, it's like the stuff you enjoy, if you enjoy it. This is the other thing I made years and years ago. It is a USB to 9-volt connector. USB is 5 volts. And if I did this properly, do I have a USB? I have a USB right there. So that's plugged into USB, and let's see what happens. Because again, if I blow a motor, I got 50 more. Put on there. No, it doesn't spin as fast as 9 volts, but it's 5 volts. So I actually had, I honestly can't remember why I made a USB to 5-volt converter, or a 9-volt connector converter. That's very odd that I did that. I think it was just for testing, see if I could do it. But yeah, there you go. A USB to 9-volt convert, 9-volt connector, but it's only pushing 5 volts in the motor. And you know, it still has the same amount of toughness to stop it. But there you go. And one more thing, and I've mentioned this numerous times, my favorite motors. I did go off on a huge tangent about that at one point years ago. The only deficiency about these motors, the only deficiency, is they made the axle permanent built in instead of making an axle hole like they did with the clear motor that came out not so far after this. Because it would have been nice to put whatever length of axle you wanted to put onto this motor. And people say, oh, just get an axle adapter. Well, the thing is about axle adapter, and I said it before, and I'll say it again, I'll get you one. And you guys already get this. So here's, I'm not showing my great expensive belly. Here's the axle connector. And boom, you've already wasted 2 studs. You've already wasted 2 studs. You cannot put this thing through a beam here. And then now, of course, you can put in whatever. Let me just rip this thing apart. I do build things too strong. First to say that, by the way. I always over-engineer it. And so now you can have like an 8 stud or an 8L axle, but one's in here and then the other here. So this is now 9L here. But the issue is that these 2 studs, you wasted this space. You've absolutely wasted it. So had this been an axle hole that's spun around, and you can put whatever axle you wanted, like a 2 axle or a 4 axle or whatever, this would have been the perfect motor. But say also, they could have, because there's no space in here, there's nothing uses right in here, you could put at, because this is exactly where, let me just get this done, show you this, come on. These little eaves troughs, 1x2, whatever, they go perfectly inside these little ridges here, and that was the intent of that originally. So you can see that they fit perfectly in here. You could have, not necessarily back here, because that's where the magnet is, but right here you could have put a Technic hole for a half bushing or a half axle pin, like they did with the actual RCX. The RCX on the RCX, the 4 holes on the RCX, those are half holes for the half axle pin. And they could have done exactly the same thing here to lock this thing in. Because it's, now you have to build around it to lock this thing in. But whatever. Other than that, because I do build old school. I mentioned this a gabillion times. When I do build, I build brick on top of brick, plate on top of plate. I do not do snotting. I do not do studless beams. Overall, not necessarily my forte, because maybe I'm just too old, or I don't know what it is. I like building my way, and these motors were my favorite because RCX, and I got to build a whole bunch of stuff, as people saw. But the two deficiencies, the biggest one is the axle instead of the axle hole. The second is not putting a connector peg there, because it'd been a lot easier to build this thing into mocks if you did that. And you could have done that. They should hire me as their R&D guy. But then not now, because now it's all over my head. But back then, I was hardcore all over it. So anyway, I won't even start talking about the clutch gear. One of my favorite things that they've ever came up with. Yeah, so that's it. So that's another bin that's empty. Well, it's going to be empty after I put all my instructions in it and then give them to Jeff. And so I got another 2 bins, basically. I got to put the Bionicle over there into that bin if I can fit it, and get this stuff off my desk. So quick video of stuff I got laying around the house.